What is up, everybody? It's your boy Storm Lord of Chaos here, taking away your peace today. And this is going to be part two to what if Deku was Sinbad's son. And where we last left off, it was right before the 10 months. And I know that's a bad place to leave it off, but my internet was acting up on that day, and I needed to end it. Otherwise, my phone would have messed up real bad, and I wouldn't be able to make videos for a long time. And I'm sorry for not making videos earlier. Well, it's only been a few days, right? So yeah, but still, I apologize for not uploading. And yeah, let's get right into it. So where we last left off was right before the 10 months. In these 10 months, and this is something that I should mention, you know how in all these what if Deku what ifs, people when they go to the 10 months of training, they make him real buff, like in canon, like he's going to be like he has bodybuilder build. But in this, I'm not gonna make him like that. Has anyone ever seen not seen, but read the comic Solo Leveling, or any isekai isekai comics where the main character dies or gets summoned into a different world with all these superpowers, or he gets summoned and he has weak skills that turn out to be OP, but he still has a weak body, so he has to train. Yeah, it's kind of like that, except yes, Deku's gonna have muscle, but it's not gonna be muscle, because you know how my got the giant muscles. Why am I saying muscle so much? Yeah, but Deku, he's going to be lean, like, how should I say this? Like an elf. You know, they're strong, but they don't look strong at all. So he's basically the same height, and he has elf strength. Like anyone who's ever seen Game of Thrones, I forgot that guy's name, but he's really fast and strong, and he's amazing with knives. And that's one of the reasons why Deku uses karambit knives. Okay, now back to the story. In the 10 months, Deku focuses on, and I mean really focuses on, agility, not speed, not strength, agility and endurance, because he's going to need a lot of stamina. And for the things that I'm going to be making him do, he's going to need all of that stamina to go with his agility. Think think of this as a video game, and he has to level up his stamina and his agility to the max as he can. But this is not a leveling what if. This is a what if Deku was Sinbad's son what if. Okay. So he's gonna mainly, I mean heavily, focus on agility and endurance. He's gonna be fast, don't get me wrong, because when you're very agile, you don't really need speed, because you build up momentum from constantly either jumping over stuff or swinging from different things, from poles to vines to ropes. You gain that momentum, and it pushes you forward. You're not using much strength. You're just lifting yourself up over something, or diving or sliding underneath other things, and you constantly build up momentum. Deku's going to be a parkour master. So yeah, he's mainly focused on that. And one day when he's walking on the, I'm gonna say, the 3rd month, he finds Dagobah Beach, and he decides to do a little training, mainly with Valifor, because his ice will be able to shatter all the metal and steel and trash, because of what I made Valifor. And he'll do some training with Ball, because he needs to Yeah, he needs to get better with his lightning because he can't control it at all. All he can do really is put the lightning into his body. He can't actually physically project the lightning outside of his body to attack someone. That is, unless like I did with Valifor, like I made it into a short sword when he uh, did the giant ice facing the sledge villain when he saved Bakugo. He's gonna try and practice that just without the full Jin equip. So he's gonna try and practice that with Ball mostly because he kind of gets it with Valifor. It's just he covers the blade in ice and extends that ice slightly, and more until it gets to the right length. That's mainly what he does in the first 3 months. In the other months, he does what I said. He focuses heavily on agility and endurance and how to build momentum. Because, yes, he's going to be a parkour master, but this is Deku without him knowing how to do parkour. He's learning parkour in these 10 months. And he's going to be I'm going to say there's 3 levels to parkour mastery: novice, apprentice, and master. He's going to be an apprentice level parkour user. I'm making this sound like it's an OP skill in a video game. I apologize, but I digress. Let's get back onto the story. So for the rest of the months, he's focusing on that, and now here's the UA entrance exams. Now things relatively go the same at the beginning. He walks in, he doesn't trip. He walks in. Everyone's looking at Deku because he's in the kind of near the end of the series of Magi, The Adventures of Sinbad, where he got that blue leather jacket without the undersleeve, just the straps. Deku's wearing that with some elastic, but still elastic, but still loose enough to where they look like normal pants. Leather jeans, and he's wearing Sinbad's jacket from near the end of the series. So he's dressed like that, and people are wondering, what is he wearing? Because they see that he's wearing leather, and not a lot of people wear leather. And in this, it's not going to be blue; it's going to be black. And also, I also forgot to mention this: Deku's hair is purple and long like Sinbad's. It's like short on the top, and that ponytail it extends to his shins. So people are looking at her, saying that he's real handsome because he takes after Sinbad, along with the flirtatiousness. So he'll flirt a lot, but not with Ochako. He's not gonna flirt with Uraraka. He's basically not gonna flirt with almost no one in 1A. He's gonna flirt with not 1A, class 1A, except for Jiro, Momo, and Asui. Yeah, I'm a fan of those 3, big fans. Oh, and Mina. Those 4. So he gets that flirtatiousness from his dad, his handsomeness from his dad, his hair color, and his eyes from his dad. Because, I'm gonna say, Inko's genes, not jeans as the pants, her genes, her genetics were less dominant. They were more recessive than they were dominant, and Sinbad's were heavily dominant. So yeah, Deku takes after Sinbad heavily. So let's go to the story. Deku's walking towards the entrance, and to some people, it looks like he's walking towards Uraraka to, I guess, kind of get in her head, mess her up so she fails. So, and Ida sees this, and he's thinking in his head what I just said, that he think that guy is going to try and mess up her head so she fails this. So he walks up and says, "Hey, I can't do an Ida voice. I just can't. Hey, you shouldn't be trying to mess with get in people's heads. It's the wrong thing to do. And then Deku, he does something strange, and I mean real strange. He looks over at at Ida, like Deku's facing towards the gate. He turns his head slightly to look at Ida, and he says this. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to start the exam, get ready, and pass with if I can. If I even if I do fail, I'm gonna try again next year. That's what he says. And Ida, he's still firm that he believes Deku's going to mess with Ochako. So he says, "Don't lie. I know what you're trying to do to that girl." And then Deku gets a little irritated by this. So he activates his quirk, so-called quirk, slightly. He lifts up his hand, grabs Ida's hand that's on his shoulder, squeezes slightly, and this is Deku's right hand, therefore Ball. He squeezes slightly, and Ball starts to slowly appear. It doesn't take shape. It's just lightning starts to strike a little, and it starts to take shape. And then when Deku squeezes a little more, the lightning shocks Ida. Not to the point where he's knocked out or anything, and not to the point where it affects him physically. Just a light shock, like a static shock. And he's wondering, what did he just do? Because Ida doesn't know what Deku's quirk is yet. He's thinking that it's lightning because the lightning strike or the static shock. Well, no, he wouldn't think that because it's a static shock. It's something that happens almost every day to some people, or not every day, but it happens to some people. Yeah, so he's sitting there wondering, what was that in his head? He's thinking that. Then, without him knowing, Deku disappears because when he grabbed his hand, he moved it away from him, so it wasn't holding on to him. So when he let go, Ida's dazed, confused about what happened, and Deku just walks towards the entrance. He walks past Uraraka and goes to the gate. So he's one of the first people to leave the gate when they start. Now, exactly 5 minutes pass, and then President Mike explains the point system, these zero pointers, the 1 pointers, 2s, and 3s. And you get the gist of it. Everyone lines up, and he starts counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! And everyone just starts booking it, except Deku. He stays where he is. He bends down a little into a sprinting stance. The back of his hands start glowing where his tattoos are. They start glowing. And this is something that he recently learned about the glow. He can make it brighter without having to summon Valifor or Ball. So he does this. He gets into a sprinting stance like professional sprinters do. Professional athletes do. He gets in that stance. He gets ready. He clenches his legs real hard to build up that tension. So when he starts, and then he makes his hands glow as bright as all hell. No, not hell. Heaven, because heaven is one of the brightest places ever. And it's a blinding light. No one can see Deku anymore. Um, and then when the light fades away, Deku's gone. All there is ice, a little bit of ice where he once was, along with lightning with lightning scorch marks on the ground. And then when they look around where he was, he's not there. Then they look towards where the robots are, and they see that where once were 5 robots, 1s, 2s, and 3s, were, they're now either shattered and they're either starting to freeze over because of Valifor, and some are being short circuited because of Baal. And Deku's just running around, giving little scratches on the robots, freezing them over, short circuiting them, and this is giving him a lot of points. And I'm gonna say after 10 minutes, because the entire, I guess, exam is maybe 20 minutes. So for 15 minutes. I'm going to say it's 20 minutes, the entire exam. I'm going to say it's 15 minutes. And he goes around 15 minutes, just slightly scratching robots left and right, short circuiting them, freezing them over. And then the 0-pointer comes. Just boom, boom, boom. Everyone's hearing this loud noise. They're wondering what it is. They all look up because they see a shadow. They all look up, and they see the 0-pointer standing right above them. And they all start running like all hell is chasing them away. And they start booking it. And this is the part where the rubble starts falling and it lands on Uraraka, spraining her leg. I don't know if it broke it or sprained it. I think it sprained it, so she couldn't walk and she was trapped. And the 0-pointer was about to step on her. And this is what Deku does. And he's in control of his body. This is impulse. This is him wanting to save someone. So he says to Ball, he squeezes as hard as he can, puts the lightning all throughout his body, to where, and this makes his hair go, this makes his hair go, well, it starts spiking everywhere. The band that was holding his ponytail in place snaps, and his hair just flies out. And if any of you have actually watched Magi, The Adventures of Sinbad, when you first see Ball's hair is like, how should I put this? It's like it's standing on end because of electricity. It's kind of like that. And it's slightly down-ish, like to his shoulders. That's not the full length, but it's hovering slightly. And it's hovering just above his shoulders. And it's splattered out because of the lightning. And Deku starts to buff up slightly. He gets Ball's arms and Valifor's ears, but this is partial. He gets Ball's arms and partial of his chest with Valifor's ears and Valifor's eyes, the eyes on Sinbad's hands when he goes full genie equipped for Valifor. And those come out. He does that little thing where he puts an illusion to everyone that the 0-pointer has just stopped, and they're wondering what's happening. And Deku, he closes the eyes on his palm, grabs Valifor and Ball, and he starts charging, as we all know. And like I said, this is partial genie equip. He can't control this. He can't control this at all. He's not in control. He's in control of his motion, his state of mind, but he can't control his partial genie equip. So he's running real fast with lightning coursing through his veins. He jumps up, creating a massive crater. And when he reaches it, no, he doesn't reach. He overshoots slightly. And using what he's practiced and accumulated experience for, he uses with all of his willpower to extend Valfor and Ball to the longest he can make them. I'm going to say it's 4 feet long. That's longer than your average katana. No, not katana. Nodachi. And a nodachi is larger than a katana, I think. Sorry, I had an itch. And he makes them that long. And instead of holding them like you would normally hold karambits, he flips them to where the curve, to where they're like the Skyrim curved blades. Wait, no, the Skyrim curved blades where the back edge is facing forward, and that's where the blade is. The back edge is the blade. Yeah, so he holds them like Skyrim swords, and he lifts up his arms into a V shape, and he swings down. He cuts at the robot's shoulders because he's gaining constant momentum because of gravity. Excuse me. And he's going down to the robot. And when he comes down, he slashes, and right as the blades, because he's not attacking the head, he's attacking the shoulders, so he can cut into the body. So he slices down, and as soon as Valifor and Ball touch the shoulders, the entire thing short circuits. Small explosions start appearing everywhere. It starts falling backwards, and it's freezing over at like the fastest freezing you've ever seen. It starts freezing over that fast. And small explosions keep happening. And then right before it hits the ground, it doesn't explode. Well, yes, it does. It creates a massive mushroom cloud explosion. But instead of it being black smoke, it's crystals of the robot because it was frozen by Valifor. And with that, Deku is now falling towards the ground. He uses Valifor's ability. I think all Dungeon Conquerors use this, but I don't know for sure. He uses Ball's ability to hover slightly, and he slowly descends, and his Gen Equip disappearing. He uses Valifor and freezes the rubble on top of Uraka and destroys it, helps her up, and takes her to Recovery Girl. And with that, we end the entrance exams. Oh wait, no, I forgot to mention. He does better than he does on the theory exam than he did in canon. Alright. And this ends the UA entrance exams. Deku goes home. He waits exactly 2 weeks, gets a letter in the mail, and little does he know, it's not All Might. It's Nezu. And I bet you're wondering, why would Nezu be there? It's usually one of the teachers, right? Yeah, it is. From what I understand, at least. It's mainly one of the teachers that gives the speech, right? So why is Principal Nezu there? And he starts off by saying, "Congratulations, Izuku Midoriya. You are now a student of UA High School. But before I tell you your score, I want to tell you something else. On the day before school starts, I want you to come to UA High and speak with me in my office, for I have things to discuss with you about your father." And this is something that I also forgot to mention. Sinbad went back to the world of Magi. He, after raising Deku for, half of his life, he leaves. He says he has to go on a business trip that'll take, a long while. Probably, most of Deku's life, because the middle of Deku's life is when he's in middle school and up until now, which is high school. So he says he needs to go. He leaves. He says goodbye to his son and to Inko, and things progress. Not as a natural family should progress. Right. So Nezu says, "I want you to come meet me the day before school starts, and I wish to speak with you about something. It's about your father." And then the video ends there, and it switches over to Aizawa, not All Might, Shoto Aizawa, and he says, "Congratulations, Izuku Midoriya. You are now a student of UA High School. Your scores were, I'm going to say, 175 villain points and 100 rescue points, therefore giving you 275 points, barely beating All Might's record for 270 points. Congratulations. I hope to see you here when on the day the school starts. Goodbye, young Midoriya." Yes, he does say young Midoriya because he knows his name. And the video ends there. And I think it was 1 week later. So 6 days later, Deku goes to UA, meets up with Nezu, and here's how things go down. Nezu says, right as Deku sits down, he says, "There's no other way I can say this. Your father, he's dead." And I bet you're wondering, how does Nezu know Sinbad? Yeah, that's the thing. Sinbad made arrangements. Real good arrangements. Now, I'm gonna reveal those later on in the series. Man, I'm just messing with y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna introduce what those arrangements further in the future of this series, and he and Deku, he's frozen. You know how sometimes in anime where the main character is sad and you get that, I guess, that shadow over their eyes where you can't see their eyes and it's just their nose and mouth and the rest of their head, you just can't see their eyes, it's shadowed out because of the way their head is positioned. That's what happens to Deku. He freezes in that position. His hands start to glow that light blue, but then they change to black, pitch black. Black butterflies shoot out from behind him, and Nezu's wondering what this is. And Deku, he starts chanting. He doesn't know what's going on because, as far as Deku's concerned, he blacked out from shock. And Deku just starts chanting the full Jin equip chants, and he gets Valifor's arms. No, Ball's arms, Valifor's legs and torso, Valifor's ears, and Ball's ring of fire on his head, along with Ball's ears. And that gem in Ball's forehead. Along with Ball's fangs, also. And claws. But no, Valifor has claws. No, he already has claws. Okay. Imagine not Sinbad, Deku with Sinbad's arms. They're like all scaly, like a dragon's, but they look like armor. And then Valifor's kind of like a Japanese monk. No, yeah, a monk with those, I guess, baggy pants. Anyone who's ever seen Bleach, those pants that they wear, imagine that, but white. And yeah, imagine Bleach clothing, but white, as the legs and torso. His shoulders and arms are dragon-like, and his head is a combination of a fox, with the ears slightly pointed forward, and a ring of fire, a small ring of fire, just barely bigger than his forehead, with a gem in the center. And Deku's real mad. I mean, real mad. Now, don't get me wrong, he blacked out because of shock. This is Valifor and Ball taking control of Deku so they can speak on his behalf. And imagine Valifor's voice and Ball's voice combined together, and they already sound kind of weird-ish. They sound like, you know how my voice, it kind of sounds like it's vibrating right now? That's how their voices sound, but with different voice actors. Imagine those two put together. And he says, Nezu, it's been a long while. And Nezu's surprised by this. He didn't know that Sinbad gave Deku the necklace and sword of Valifor and Ball. And this is what Valifor and Ball say. Now, don't think that Sinbad gave away our necklace and sword. He still has them. We are just the spirits that lie within them. We are the Jinn. That's what they say. And they continue. Our power still resides with Sinbad. Our full power resides with Sinbad. And only when this boy, when Izuku Midoriya realizes his true potential as a dungeon keeper. Yet, and quick pause. A dungeon keeper, this is something that I made up. It's not canon at all. At all. A dungeon keeper is someone who has the abilities of a djinn, but did not capture a dungeon. This power was given to them, kind of like a household vessel, but it's not. It's not at all. It's a controlled, less powerful version of the full power of the djinn in the hands of a dungeon capture. But the djinn, like Ball and Valifor, their physical bodies as djinn live inside of Deku. Yes, their power is with Sinbad. He can still speak to them, but their physical bodies are inside Deku because they need to be for him to be a dungeon keeper. And reverse, Izuku Midoriya is a dungeon keeper, and only when he realizes his true potential will he able to use our full power. And just then, lightning and ice, the air in the room starts to chill like crazy with small sparks of lightning in the air along with small pieces of ice just floating. That second sound was ice forming. and then they say, you will not use this boy as a tool to stop those people who have gone mad in their minds. He will choose what he wishes. Do not allow anyone, and I mean anyone, to control him. And then it starts to slowly fade from his hands and his toes all the way up. He's transforming back to his normal clothes and his hair. And his hair goes back to normal-ish. And then he sees Nezu, and then he gets a massive headache and passes out. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it off here. No, I'll do the test. as always, physical test. Okay, so they get into the classroom. Sorry, I spaced out there for a second. They get into the classroom, and everyone's talking. Dek, and then Deku, when he reaches the door and he opens it, he walks in. He has his eyes closed, just walking. Then he reaches the far end of the classroom next to the window, and he just starts walking along the aisle to the very last seat. No, actually, that's not where he sits. He sits next to Mina Ashido. He sits in between Mina Ashido, Momo Yajirozu, Ochako Uraraka, and Jiro. They're sitting beside him on the four corners that are our compass. One in back of Deku, Jiro in back of Deku, Ochako in front of Deku, Momo to his left, Valifor, and Mina to his right, Ball. And they start talking to each other. Four girls talking to one guy. Deku still has his eyes closed, answering their questions. Actually answering everyone's questions. They're asking, "Oh my God, it's him! What's your quirk?" And then he tells everyone to calm down. My quirk is summoning, but my quirk is an emitter / mutation type quirk, because my power allows me to summon these Ball, Valfor, and they appear in his hands. These guys, he sets them on the table, and no, they're not freezing and striking lightning like usual, because he's learned a certain extent of control. These guys, and if I say a specific chant that my father used, because me and my father's quirks are very similar, you could even call them the exact same quirk. If I say a specific chant that my father taught me, though I still can't use it, I can transform my body into, well, I guess, part dragon, part fox. Half dragon, half fox. I don't know for sure because I haven't seen myself. And the times that I've used it, I blacked out both. I blacked out both times I've tried to use it. Everyone's surprised by this. Even Bakugo, because Bakugo didn't know of Deku's quirk. He thought Deku was quirkless. Even during pre-K, when that bright light shone and the lightning and ice appeared, he still didn't believe Deku had a quirk. He thought that was smoke and mirrors. So, yeah, that happens. Then Aizawa walks in, and then he says, "It took you all 10 seconds to quiet down." And then he says, "Hello everyone. I'm gonna be your new homeroom teacher. My name is Shoto Aizawa, and today we're gonna be doing a physical exam." And then Momo pipes up and saying, "But wait, don't we have to go to the entrance ceremony?" And then Aizawa says, "No. You want to know why? Because I can do whatever I want in this school. If I wanted, I can expel everyone here." And then Ochako pipes up and says, "You can't do that. I've expelled whole classes before, young lady." And then everyone quiets down, goes to the changing rooms, and changes these. Deku catches his uniform, because Aizawa personally threw it towards him. He catches it. He goes to the changing room. Everyone sees his body. They're not so much impressed as they are surprised, because they saw how fast Deku was. They thought that he'd be at least a little fit. I mean, yes, he has abs, I guess the natural amount of muscle that the average human male has. But that was pretty much it. So, yeah, they weren't so much impressed as they were surprised. And after that, we go into the ball test. In this, it's going to be, I'm going to make it quite fast. So, first up, you got the 100-meter dash. Deku gets second place. I say second because I'm going to say Deku's trying to be considerate of Ida's pride. I guess. I don't know what I'm doing now. So he gets second place. In the side-to-side jumps, Deku gets fourth because he can't build up momentum by jumping side to side, because when you jump side to side, you build momentum. That momentum gets shut off immediately. You build momentum, shut off, build, shut, build off, build off, build off, build off, and constantly. So he gets fourth place. After that, it is the pull-ups. Deku gets first in that. Then you got the grip strength. Deku gets eighth in that because no. Deku gets fifth to last in that in grip strength because he doesn't focus on strength or grip strength or any strength. After that, it was in the crunches, which are basically sit-ups. He gets first. He gets first because those are the easiest thing for him to do. Push-ups, he gets first because it's fast for him. It's very fast for him. And now we get to the ball throw. As we all know, Bakugo goes first. He gets 705.7. He says, "Ha! Beat that, losers." And then everyone goes. I don't know their exact times for everyone. When it gets to Ochako, as we all know, she gets infinity. Now it's Deku's turn because he decided to go last. Okay, so he summons Ball, and he says a partial chant, not a complete partial chant where he has the ears ring of fire, the arms of his Jins. He goes a partial Jin equip to where it's just the arms of Ball. He transforms into them. He yells out in pain slightly because you're basically growing scales onto your body, which I think it might hurt. Yeah, I think it might hurt a lot. So he summons them. He disperses Ball, and then he grabs the ball from Aizawa, clenches every single muscle in his arm and in his legs and in his waist. He twists and then lets it fly. He gets 827.9 meters. Basically getting him second place. Because I don't know what everyone else's scores were, but I'm going to say they're all within the 700 range. So Deku gets second place, Uraka first, Bakugo third, Momo fourth, and Shoto fifth. And this ends I'm going to end it right here. Alright, everybody. It's your boy Storm, Lord of Chaos, giving you a peace back for the rest of the evening. Well, for everyone who lives in Texas, that is. Goodbye.